Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 72 of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kasmala, using research and my personal experiences where I actually set foot in some of these places. I'll be describing some of the unknown attractions in both the U.S. and around the world. Route 66 is one of the most iconic roads in the United States, but it's not the only road that showcases scenic views. This week, we drive along the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is also called America's Favorite Drive. The Blue Ridge Parkway is a 2-lane road that zigzags through the spectacular Appalachian Mountains. It's considered the first and longest rural parkway. This slow-paced winding road starts at the Shenandoah National Park in Virginia and stretches for 469 miles, ending at the Great Smoky Mountain National Park in North Carolina. It's also a road that GPSs have trouble finding. The mileposts are the only guide to help you know exactly where you are on the parkway. To understand the history of the Blue Ridge Parkway, we have to travel back to 1933, when President Franklin Delano Roosevelt stopped by to see the Skyline Drive in Virginia, a road that runs through the Shenandoah National Park. U.S. Senator Harry Byrd of Virginia recommended to the president that the road should extend to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is on the border between North Carolina and Tennessee. President Roosevelt discussed this idea with the governors of Virginia, North Carolina, and Tennessee, and on November 24, 1933, the Park-to-Park Highway was approved by Interior Secretary Harold Ickes. There was a challenge in deciding the route for the parkway. Originally, the parkway was planned to be a part of the highway from the Blowing Rock in North Carolina and extend over the Anaca Mountains into Tennessee. The Asheville Chamber of Commerce and other leaders persuaded that the route should pass through the city of Asheville in North Carolina. The Chamber of Commerce campaigned, and eventually their proposal won. The construction of the road began in 1935. The parkway took around 50 years to complete. Today, it might take you at least 12 hours to drive it from start to finish without stopping. However, I recommend stopping at any of the 200 scenic overlooks and hiking along any of the trails, as there is more than 350 miles of hiking trails to enjoy the views and the various flora along the parkway. The overlooks on the parkway give you a chance to see the mountains from a different perspective. The parkway passes through 6 mountain chains in the Appalachians. In Virginia, the first 355 miles takes you through the Blue Ridge Mountains. Then, the parkway in Asheville passes along the Black Mountains, the Craggies, the Pigses, and the Balsams, and ends at the Great Smoky Mountains in North Carolina. The road also ascends from 650 feet above sea level and climbs up to 6,053 feet at Richland Balsam, milepost 431 in North Carolina. Along one of the overlooks, specifically at milepost 361.2, you can see a waterfall that measures to be over 800 feet, or at least around 200 feet. The Glassmine Falls overlook is a tall, skinny waterfall. At the bottom of the waterfall is a mica mine. Mica is a flaky, shiny mineral, and miners compared the mineral to glass. Thus, the waterfall was named Glassmine Falls. Unfortunately, you can't explore this particular waterfall up close, as the land and waterfall are privately owned as part of the Asheville watershed. Some hiking trails lead to other waterfalls, such as the Linville Falls at milepost 316, where Lynn River flows from on top of the Grandfather Mountain, falling into the Linville Gorge, or the Crabtree Falls at milepost 339.5. It's a waterfall that cascades over a 60-foot rock cliff. Besides overlooks, there are also structures that you can see along the roadway. At milepost 176 in Virginia, near a small stream sits the Mabry Mill. Edwin Boston Mabry and Lizzie Mabry, with the help from their neighbor Newton Hilton, built the Mabry Mill around 1905. Ed Mabry and Lizzie Mabry dreamed of owning their own grist mill. Even though the mill didn't grind corn quickly like the other mills, it didn't burn the corn. Ed also built a sawmill, which was powered by belts and shafts connected to the water wheel, similar to how the grist mill worked. Ed later built a woodworking shop which had a double-bladed jigsaw, a wood lathe, and a tongue and groover that was also powered by the water wheel. Around 1913-1914, the couple constructed a new blacksmith wheelwright shop near the grist mill. There was also a 2-story white farmhouse that they built, but unfortunately, it was dismantled after 1936. A little further down the road, at milepost 189.9 or 190, is a wooden cabin called the Puckett Cabin. The Puckett Cabin is on Groundhog Mountain and honors the midwife Aunt Orlin Hawks Puckett. When she was in her 50s, Orlin Hawks Puckett assisted with delivering more than 1,000 babies up until 1939. She traveled far and wide whenever she was called. Around 1890, when Aunt Orlin Hawks Puckett started her practice, she charged only $1 for her services, and when times were good, $6. She received food or other goods instead of money, for which she shared everything with her neighbors. She had 24 children, but tragically, each of them died in infancy. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you're interested in learning more about the Blue Ridge Parkway, check out the website blueridgeparkway.org and the National Park Service website. To learn more about the Mabry Mill, visit the website mabrymillrestaurant.com/history. And to learn more about the Glassmine Falls overlook, check out the website worldofwaterfalls.com. Have a great week.